Hello, and welcome to My Low Country Living. I'm Tommy Ray. Today we're going to make an authentic Mexican restaurant style queso. Now this queso is great to use for get-togethers. It's also great to have at Taco Tuesday, or if you're going to have friends over to watch a big game, it's a great appetizer to go ahead and make. So let's go ahead and get started. Our ingredients are simple. We just need to have one 12-ounce block of pepper jack cheese, 1.5 pounds of white American cheese, a 12-ounce package of Queso Fresco cheese, which is a Mexican cheese you can find in your cheese section of your grocery store, a pint of half and half, one jalapeno, and optional, if you want to add it for a little more color and a little more spice, is some crushed red chili peppers. Here we have our ingredients. And what we're going to do is you can either slow cook this in your crock pot for a couple hours, or you can cook it in a pan in the oven on low simmer. So what you want to do is first start off by taking your half and half and pour that into either your crock pot or your regular pot you're going to simmer in. Then you're going to dice up your cheeses and add those to your pots. Okay, here we have our pepper jack cheese, and we'll go ahead and cut this into little small chunks so that it can go ahead and melt. And we'll go ahead and add those to our half and half. Next, we're going to cut up our Queso Fresco. As I mentioned, this is a Mexican cheese that you can go ahead and get in your cheese aisle. Okay, here we have our Queso Fresco, and we'll go ahead and chop that up into small little chunks as well, just like we did the pepper jack cheese. And add that to our half and half. Lastly, we're going to add our white American cheese. Now, as I mentioned, you can sometimes get this in the deli and have the deli go ahead and cut it up for you into slices or chunks. I'm using about 1.5 pounds of American cheese. Unfortunately, my deli was out of it, so I went ahead and got the singles. I'm just going to have to unwrap the singles and chop them into little pieces. Okay, finally done unwrapping our second package of American cheese, and we'll go ahead and cut that up and put that into the half and half mixture.
I don't know what that was. Wes actually circled.
After the cheese is in, we'll add our jalapeno. With your jalapeno, if you want your queso to be hot and spicy, you'll leave the jalapeno seeds in. If you want your queso to be a little more mild, you'll take the seeds out. I prefer to have a little spicier queso, so the seeds will stay in for me. Okay, now that our jalapeno is diced, we'll add that to our queso mixture. And our queso is now ready to go onto the stove. And I'm going to add an optional red chili peppers to that as well to give it a little more coloring, as well as just a little more flavor. Now, as I mentioned, you can cook this in your crock pot for a couple hours, or you can go ahead and put this on your stove and let it simmer on low. If you put it on the stove like I'm going to, you want to make sure you stir it constantly so it doesn't stick to the bottom and burn. And we'll be back to check on this in a couple of minutes. And here we have our queso on the stove on low, and we're just going to keep stirring this over and over so that it doesn't stick to the bottom because we don't want it to burn. And our queso is finally done, nice and smooth there. We can go ahead and put that into a bowl and serve it. Yum, that queso looks really good. Let's give that a taste. Perfect. Thank you for joining us today as we made authentic Mexican restaurant style queso. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and also don't forget to hit subscribe.